Don't you know we're just starting? But you sure we got the clue how that this we go. Don't you know no more art? And as you look to the horizon, not a cloud, but then stormy weather's go too cold. Seems like it crept up out of nowhere, all around you is not what you foretold. You never see it coming. You see that my mind is too fast for eyes. You're done, but the time is hit you, you're not surprised.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is Dspnews, the unreliable ones. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the newsroom and welcome to the Goutopia News Network, your unreliable source for DSP News. No tagline yet. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here with one of our favorites, Snort Burnell, Dspgaming. Let's see. Dark Souls again. Really? Dark Souls again? Oh, wow. Disgusting jealousy towards Ninja and Fortnite. Okay, so Dark Souls. Okay, here's the thing. I've formulated a small theory on why you're seeing a lot of these retro, not even retro, you're seeing these old playthroughs, these redemption runs, if you will, outside of the actual redemption aspect of it. I feel like Phil knows that his original content, that there's already a bunch of this is how you don't plays on those. He's trying to figure out a way to mitigate that. So if he can have playthroughs that come across a bit more successful than the old ones, right? Then the detractors wouldn't be able to make as many this is how you don't plays on him, or they wouldn't be as long. Now, is it possible that Phil's thinking that far ahead? It's subjective. It just depends on how far you want to take it. But that doesn't mean that it's unreasonable. So just something to think about. We'll dissect that as we get into it, as you guys know, because what's today? We're doing ham today. Yeah, we're gonna do ham. I should do like a pork meal of the day. So like every time I do the broadcast, it was like, all right, ladies and gentlemen, the meal for today would be like, I don't know, like pan seared Asian sweet ham. I had that recently at this really great restaurant, and I had that over ramen though, didn't I? Yeah, I had that over ramen. That shit was delicious though. I don't know. Let me not get ahead of myself. We'll incorporate that later. But I should do that. Like I should do like a pork dish of the day or something. I really got to see if I can get that discussion tab back up, and then I can let you guys actually submit it. That would be cool. All right, we'll think about that. That'll be something we'll do later on down the line. Anyway, and then disgusting jealousy towards Ninja and Fortnite. It is what it is. Ninja's the man right now, even though he's in a decline. And Phil could never be him, will never be him, and could not imagine the amount of wealth and influence that Ninja has. And so it is what it is, and it's all off a kid's game, Fortnite, which if Phil played, would he have been successful like Ninja? No. But would he have had an aspect of, a brand new aspect to his fan base? Yes. Some new blood, if you will. But Phil didn't want to do that because he wanted to stand on, that's a kid's game and I don't want to play that because it's cheap and it's for kids. All right, then you suffer the consequences. But then at the same time, if it's just a fucking stupid ass kid's game, why do you care that someone else made it big off that? And it wasn't just Ninja. There's other people who made really good money off that. It's just Ninja got the most publicity. And the irony is Ninja is just as toxic. I'm not sure if I can say he's as toxic as DSP. He is a toxic piece of shit, though. Ninja is toxic as fuck, but he's not as toxic as Phil. I think it's fair to say that. But why do you care? Why are you care what Ninja's doing, or why are you watching Ninja if you're only supposed to be focused on your own content? I don't know. I don't know, Scrappy. We're going to have to dig into that one. Ladies and gentlemen, this is DSP News. Always late, never breaking. Unreliable coverage that you can't count on. Oh, yes! A GTG Network Productions. You guys all know the slogan. I don't smell no bacon cooking. And it's time to watch me work.
Warning. What you may see right now is going to be absolutely disgusting.
Sound good?
Alright, sounds good to me.
Actually, while we have Cat on the witness stand, I mean, sorry about that. I let that slip. As it pertains to Ninja, real fast, and I want to throw this out there at you. The reason why Phil has the type of animosity for Ninja is because Ninja represents Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, and PewDiePie on air quotes on Phil's platform, which is Twitch. That's what it is. He can't escape. He still can't escape the Muppet syndrome. So even though he doesn't worry, even though he still worries about PewDiePie and those guys on YouTube, now he has one of many of them on Twitch. He can never escape that. Real gamers don't color their hair, dude. Real gamers don't appeal to children, dude. I think that's one of the reasons, though. But I'll wait and hear your comments on it. Here we go.
In reality, everyone, the truth of the matter is, it really sucks for me, because this was a week when typically I'm doing holiday-themed stuff. You know, I was going to do the Christmas Eve podcast, the post-Christmas multiplayer, and I rely on you guys attending streams and contributing to make ends meet this time of year. You know, in particular, January is right around the corner. I got all my January bills coming up, and I'm screwed because I'm out a week of income that I needed to pay those bills. And in addition to that, things were very slow in October, which I just got paid for in December, so already I'm behind, and now I've lost a week of streaming. It sucks.
Tips, I needed them pretty badly, and I need your help. I really need your support right now, folks. I need that money. I really do. I need that money to pay my bills.
Alright, but it's reality. When you're self-employed, when you're a full-time streamer like me, you get sick, you make no money, okay? And, certainly it's not a good situation, but it's not the end of the world. It just sucks that somehow I gotta make ends meet now.
Give me money. Give me your money.
And the truth of the matter is that I'm not going to do a giant plug segment talking about ways you guys can contribute. I'm just going to say two things. The first is that since we are near the end of the month, okay, there's only 2 days left for you guys. It's today and tomorrow.
Oh yeah, guys. Once again, we're here with Snort Burnell, Dspgaming, Dark Souls again, and disgusting jealousy toward Ninja and Fortnite.
Pledge to my Patreon.
Phil scammed his patrons. Oh, isn't that the guy who whacked off on stream? Isn't that the guy who scams his patrons? And isn't that the guy who's a pedophile? And isn't that the guy who's a racist? And isn't that the guy from This Is How You Don't Play? And isn't that the guy? Patreon support.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Down. You can pledge as much as you want. The highest perk level I'll give you is $50, but you could pledge more than that if you want. And pledge today. The best way to help me out right now, because of what happened this week, me losing out on a week of income, and the fact that I need that income to pay my bills this month. Please, if you can, tip me. Tipping me helps me out tremendously.
Now here's another thing. Let's talk about that for a minute. Patreon, as Snort Burnell has so elegantly put it out there. If he was focused on that all year, like he's supposed to, he would be in a much better position today. He would be in a much better position today. But see, what happened was Twitch was working really well. YouTube was in a decline, but it was still pulling in his little money, and he was catching his little, I don't know, I think maybe even though he wasn't promoting Patreon, he was still getting maybe between $400 and $700, maybe even $800. But he should have put more effort in and pushed for that $1,200 or $1,250. He should have done that. Another thing, actually, and you know, you guys can pass this along to Phil if you wish to. He might need to go ahead and raise his Patreon up to $2,000. Just hear me out. Okay, just hear me out. Let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen. He cannot afford his lifestyle. He cannot afford the way he's living, or at least that's the way he's trying to portray it. He cannot afford his taxes. He cannot afford whatever. So, Dave, if you're listening, listen close. You should make your Patreon $2,000. Are you going to hit that Patreon goal every month? No. Is it possible that you'll get more because of the increase? Possibly. If you really have to pay taxes 3-4 times a year, like you said, or each quarter, or whatever the case may be, then you might as well collect it off Patreon. whatever money is not used for taxes from Patreon, you can use that for gaming peripherals. I know you say, oh, that's what tips and everything are for, but now you're saying that tips are for your bills. If that's the case, then Phil, then where's the money coming from to buy the games and stuff? Oh, people are donating games and stuff to you, but you don't want to say that, though. You don't want to have to say that, because that's behind the scenes stuff, and that's not transparent. Remember? Oh, that's only for the money that people want to give you, large amounts of money that they want to give you behind the scenes. You see how you inbox yourself in, Phil? You see how you have options? And if you were just smart about it, I've been, at least since I've been doing these videos, I've always said that your Patreon goal should be at 1,500, if not higher. Are you going to hit it? No. But you can still fulfill the Patreon goal because of how far you've exceeded it. You know what I'm saying? And whatnot. And it gives people goals to work toward. Just like how you're using on-screen goals now, like cheer goals and whatnot on Twitch. You should do the same thing for your Patreon. But then again, you have to put in the effort every day to put that in. Just my opinion. Just a second. That's the editor.
Because tips I get immediately. Oh my God. It's terrible. Phil's just one of the worst e-beggars. Disgusting beggar. Hey, money is money. One thing I think about, money is money. Yeah. As of Tuesday this week, my bank account will start emptying, and I need to replenish it to keep paying the bills. And it sucks that I'm in the situation I'm in right now. It really does. Obviously, I don't want to be in this situation.
Sorry about that. That was Agent Proper. Apparently, I have another assignment. Deep cover. So, to Agent James the Lesser, can you please get me those silk shirts that the lipstick doesn't show up on the collars? Please. Please. Thank you. Now, back to what I was saying. So, he should just raise the amount. What else does he have to lose at this point? And more importantly, it gives people options. If you don't want to support him on Twitch because you're scared that you're going to end up, people are going to call you out on it, then Patreon's the way to go. Patreon is kind of your best option. It's the best place you can go and contribute to him and walk away clean. And it's already in circulation. It's already moving. You know what I'm saying? You might as well just go there. That's just my personal opinion, of course. That's just my opinion. But that's what I would do if I was in his position. You know what I'm saying? You have another avenue there and you're not even using it. Or you're not using it properly. Which is really what his problem is. He has all these different avenues at his disposal, but he don't use them properly. So, there you go. DSP News.
Situation, but it's just reality. Okay? I failed, I failed. And it's my fault. So I don't, I got to think about what the hell I can do at this point.
Dark Souls always gets people, but the thing is, it gets a certain crowd, you know what I mean? There's a certain, excuse me, a certain crowd of people that love to see me play Dark Souls, but it's not everyone. It's not for everyone. I get that, okay? If I were to do Dark Souls again, okay, I would be playing it in a different way. Now, one thing I've never done in Dark Souls is played a sorcery build, ever, or a pyro build, ever. So sorcery or pyromancy, I've never focused on those, ever. And maybe doing a magic build would make the game different and interesting. I can't confirm that because I've never done it, I think some people said, wow, that would be so different because Phil always goes for some kind of a melee class. The exception was Dark Souls 2 when I actually started as a melee class and changed it up when I realized how overpowered the lightning spears were. So, I'm considering doing it, alright? But, if I do it, it would have to be something that you guys help me with, okay?
You guys would have to help me a lot with this.
What? Okay, where are we at now? So now, we're gonna play Dark Souls. Want to try a new build? You guys basically need to just handhold. You guys need to just play the game for me. At this point, it's not even hand holding anymore, ladies and gentlemen. You guys are gonna just have to play the game for me now. That's what's gonna have to happen. This is a Let's Player. This is his profession. This is his stock and trade. And he's telling his fan base, okay guys, I need you guys to support me. Okay, let's run over all the things that Darkside wants. He wants you guys to show up to every one of his streams. He wants you guys to be positive. He wants you guys to contribute, which is part of being positive. He wants you guys to praise him. He wants you guys to basically play the game for him now. He wants you guys to regulate the chat. He wants you guys to fight off the trolls. He wants you guys to keep praising him so he can keep his own morality up. And give him money We all the way back home. How is any of this reasonable? Why would you play a game? If that's the case, Phil, why are you playing this game? Why are you playing a game that's going to require so much help and is going to require so much commitment from your fan base, from the audience? Well, I call it an audience. So from your fan base, why would you put yourself and them through it if that's the case? Absolutely amazing. Dspnews.
What?
Because sadly, if you don't, I'm not gonna know shit. I don't know where the pyromancy or sorcery stuff is in the game. I'm lost. It's gonna be a very interactive deal where you guys tell me, okay, Phil, here's where the items are you're really gonna need for a critical run doing magic. Here's what you do. And I'm all ears. I'd be very happy to listen.
No. When you have a video game that has high replay value, this proves that Phil is extremely single-minded. He doesn't pay attention to the game. He's only playing through it just to get it out the way. This proves all of it. How many times have you played this game and you don't know where, and I'm not to say that he necessarily needs to know where all this stuff is at, but the exploration, the exploring, the adventure of finding all of those things is part of the game. And he wants to cut all of that out and force you guys to, force his fan base to do it for him so he can collect the money. And no one's going to say anything about it? And no one's going to bring all this shit up? Like, you're being used on a level that's been egregious. It's certainly ridiculous now. It's laughable at times. But you're okay with being victims, essentially. And why? What does Phil do for your lives? How does he enrich your lives in any way, shape, or form that would cause you guys to be okay with committing such large amounts of time to a game that you guys aren't even playing? For what he's asking for, you guys can go and play it yourself. Hell, you guys can go ahead and be like some of his mods and go ahead and stream the game yourselves then. You don't have to fucking do his work. I don't know. Let's continue.
Okay. Excuse me. I'd be very happy to consider, doing that and having fun with it, okay? Yeah, I'm a gamer!
I'm the worst gamer on the planet. You don't fuck with me, I know how to play this game.
And then, just to put it out there, Phil's still not going to win, because when the haters and trolls and mindless idiots and detractors, or whatever you want to call us, when we come out of the woodwork and be like, yeah, you can say that playthrough was successful, but it wasn't, because these 5 or 6 people are the ones who handheld you through it. Then what, Phil? You can't say that I'm lying, because I can just go back to this Snort Burnell video, which I will gladly will, and I can prove it. Oh, you want some more proof? I'll give it to you. Then all I got to do is run over there to Mighty D's channel and pull up his segment of that playthrough. Oh, you still want some more? You still want some more? I give you some more. Then I go ahead and run over there to Outsiders channel, and I go ahead and link his "This is how you don't play" on it. Oh, you still ain't done yet? All right, then. Then I go to Agent Proper, and I go to Agent James the Lester Express Lane, and they back me up. Oh, you still want some more? Okay, fair enough. Then I go to the Golden Child Theo, and I go to Almighty Tevin. Then it's game over. And none of that requires any less effort on my end. I'll do it for the fun of it. I'm already doing it for free. I might as well enjoy myself. Then what? And then Phil's going to have the look on his face that he has now. And he's going to be like, why do you guys hate me? Amazing.
I'm a simple guy. I'm a gamer. I'm not a techie. I'm not a fucking guy that knows all the ins and outs of this shit. You're like talking to a lay person. You're talking to a gamer. You're not talking to an editor. You're not talking to a PC, builder. You're not.
Whoa. First off, Phil, you said you used to build PCs as a hobby all the time. You used to have landline tournaments for Unreal Tournament. Just saying. Hashtag facts. Now, let's go ahead and talk about let's talk about editing for a minute, Phil, because now we're going to get into your forte. Guys, editing a video is extremely easy. It's going over here and doing the live streaming, doing the impromptu comedy is the hard part. The editing is the easy part, but actually streaming and coming up with stuff on the fly is the hard part. But now you're saying this, Phil? What happened to all that talent, Phil? What happened to all that diversity that you had? I don't know. I don't know, Scrappy. I think we have a mystery that we need to continue here. For shame, Phil. For shame.
Techie guy. You're talking to a guy who just wants to sit down, press record, play a game, and have fun, right? Phil's the worst gamer.
And how much fun are you having when you're looking at the chat, looking at all that supposed negativity over there? How much fun are you really having, Phil? And like I said, this is going to be my thing for 2019. So when I make it into, I don't think I'll ever make it into a top 10 video, but if I ever make it into like Mighty D's video, like tribute or whatnot, I definitely want it to be Mr. Look at Mr. Piggy here, look at Mr. Bacon cooking. And he wanted to do everything he wanted. He wanted to do everything that he wanted to do, and he failed miserably. It makes one wonder, maybe you should do what you need to do instead of doing what you always wanted to do. Just saying. If this is such a dream job of yours, you would think you would do whatever you could to preserve it. You know what I'm saying? You would think that would be a prereq that would be important to you. Just saying. Could be wrong, though. I'm a brain dead detractor, as you know. And I'm a fan of other brain dead detractors, too. So I might be at a bit of a disadvantage. I could be. But I am a cute and cuddly pup in a sharp suit, and trust me, Cat wishes she could know. But until then, Cat, you can talk to Seidel's mother. Dspnews.
Deserve popularity. Phil's a shithead who was never good at anything. Oh, all of a sudden, I'm the biggest gamer ever. I just never told you guys. And now I'm going to play video games on YouTube for massive profit. And they would bring their fan bases over to watch them horribly play games. They would get paid to play games for paid advertisements. It's ridiculous, okay? You're always going to have that. This is a commercial atmosphere. I hate to say it, guys. It is. Whenever money is involved, it's a commercial atmosphere. You're going to have the bandwagon jumpers, all right? When you hear Dark Side Phil, the first thing you think of, oh, that's the guy who had an accident. That's the guy who's this negative thing or that negative thing. Most people don't even know I have a 10-year legacy on YouTube. Most people don't know I did videos on YouTube for 2 years before I ever made any money. And I actually have outlived a lot of YouTubers, and or I've been doing this much longer than most people who do it for a living. Most people don't know that I'm the most prolific gaming YouTuber there is. I've put out more gameplay videos and playthroughs and hours of gameplay in the last 10 years than any other human on
First things first. I have two questions for you. One, why should anybody care? Two, actually the second one's not really a question, it's a statement. You are not the most prolific YouTuber out there. You're the most infamous. Regurgitating a shitload of videos online doesn't mean a goddamn thing. What those videos contain and what inspired people like myself, though I wasn't inspired directly by you, I was inspired by other people, but what inspires people to make videos on you is what makes you infamous. At the end of the day, Phil, your legacy means nothing. At the end of the day, it's the detractors who will be your legacy. We will be the brick and mortar. We will be the successful businesses. We will be the successful personalities that you never could be. We're the people who, off of your inability to be just a decent human being, will go on to do greater things, if one chooses to. Or if not, they can just sit around and just continue to make videos and entertain people. Either which way, they'll be successful in a way that you never could. Because a group of people saw you do it terribly, saw you lash out at people who supported you, who gave a damn about what you were providing, which spawned that group. And it may have had to go through a couple of different renditions, if you will, and whatnot, because everybody has their time and space. There's always going to be someone new stepping into this. But it's the footsteps that were left by the people who came before myself, even before Tevin and whatnot, even though Yeah, because Tevin would theoretically not be in that beginning group. He would be in like the next group after them. I guess that's debatable. Like timelines are kind of shifty. It's those people who laid down the foreground down, if you will, and all we're doing is just leaving it for everybody else, which is what you should do. So as long as you're on YouTube or Twitch, Phil, even though some of the other guys will move on, the other guys will take what skills and talents that they learned here or that they either had and didn't know about or developed and whatnot, or were just able to expand on and move on to other things, it still lays down the foreground for everybody else that comes behind them. And that's why you've given up the fight. That's why you don't want to sit there and try to personally engage anymore, because you know you can't win. And for a detractor, and I say this to all other detractors, that's really what it really comes down to. As long as this is kept intact for the next group of people who see what Phil does and is like, I have something to say about it, that's Phil's true legacy. It's the very people that Phil wants. It's the very people that Phil wants to care for him the most are the ones who, when they saw something wrong, whether injustice, whether bullshit, whatever, they spoke out against it. And they weren't scared of what the repercussions were. It needed to be said, so they said it. That's what Phil's true legacy will be. That's, in a lot of ways, is what's going to end up hurting a lot of YouTubers. These bigger guys, especially when, a lot of these fake advertisements and all these scams or whatever. It takes a lot for someone to stand up and say, despite how big the fan base is that they're about to speak against, what you did was wrong, and call it out. It's even harder to keep doing it. But either which way, credit should be made. And because someone like Phil has had an enduring legacy of people calling him out, it's only right for us to keep the foreground, to keep this house, this building. I wouldn't go as far as an empire, this company, whatever you want to call it. It's only fair to keep it going for the people who come later. And people made mistakes. I've made plenty. And I hope to rectify them in whatever time that I have left doing this and whatnot, even though most people say I really haven't started yet. Or I haven't started like most people would think. You know what I mean? You want to make sure there's something left for those who come after you. It's not about GTG's legacy. It's not about James the Lesser's. It's not about Mighty D's. It's not about any of those things. It's about what comes after that. That right there is what allows people to endure. That's why it's reasons like that Tevin, Davidson, Volt Boy, even SOK to an extent. That's the reason why a lot of these guys are still spoken about. That's why these guys are still held in high regards. It's because of what they left. They call me Tex, and Bill Purnell is another example. Dragon Killer, or he goes by DSP Archives now, I think. Or he goes by Dragon Archives now. Something like that. I think he just changed that on Twitter recently. Stuff like that. That's why these people are still held in high regard, whether active or not. That's something that Phil never understood. And this goes back to what I said in a previous broadcast about your brand and how you need to protect it as best you can. Dspnews?
Planet Earth, they don't know any of this. All they know is the negative shit. I think in general, overall, I have improved as a gamer over the years. I really do feel that as a gamer, I've matured a bit. I've figured out how to handle my anger, and I figured out how to basically handle difficult games. You're not a real gamer.
I just hope that people out there who now maybe are being exposed to video games for the first time because of the mainstream popularity of Fortnite don't think that's the end-all be-all of gaming. Sorry, but video games are not a bunch of 10-year-olds dancing around doing meme dances.
That's an insult.
You're reading too far into it. He's reading way too far into it. When people look at Fortnite, no one's going to sit there and be like, this is how the gaming industry works. Because thinking that is like saying, this is how Call of Duty is, so every other first-person shooter must be like that. There are people that are closed-minded like that. But in general, most people don't think that way. It's ridiculous to think so. to be honest. So, yet again, Phil, he attacks these things, right? Like it's a personal attack on him. Like, oh, if people just keep gravitating to Fortnite, they'll forget about everybody else and we'll never go nowhere. Well, let's look at people like Maximilian. Let's look at people like the Rad Brad. Let's look at Fire and Ice Gaming. These are people who do Let's Plays. They're doing great. They're still doing great, and I don't think any of them play Fortnite. They may have at one time, I think. But none of them really play Fortnite. Fortnite, to be honest with you, is really more of a streamer type niche game, to be honest. Even though there's a new game coming out too. It's like, instead of weapons though, you're going to have like spells and shit. It looks kind of cool. I actually kind of want to try it. Because like you can mix things like poison and fire together. You can combo all kinds of silly shit. And it requires some real strategy too. Not to say Fortnite doesn't, but it goes a little deeper than what Fortnite did. But in any case, sorry, I'm getting off topic. For Phil, taking that stuff as a personal attack is stupid in its own right. It's not like you're excluded from playing it. You chose not to play it. So you really don't have a right to speak on it. And, I mean, you know, from a certain point, take it as detractor logic for a second. You don't have a right to speak on it because you chose to exclude yourself from that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, for example, it's like the Jackal's Lair. Like, right, if you guys have gone to Memology's channel or James Alesser's channel, you know that him and the fellows have a podcast every once in a while. That's like, for example, if I say, oh, well, I'm not going to go on their podcast anymore for whatever stupid reason. And then you see me make videos where I take shots at them. Why am I taking shots at them? They didn't tell me I couldn't come back on their podcast anymore. I chose not to go back on their podcast anymore. I excluded myself from that situation. So what right do I have to shit on them when I chose not to go back there? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of stupid. That's really stupid, actually, and it's petty. And that doesn't hurt them. Well, it shouldn't hurt them. You know what I'm saying? Theoretically. It's dumb. And so that works in the exact same way as this whole thing with Fortnite. Phil, you took yourself out of that equation. You know what I'm saying? Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm hoping to get back on their podcast later on this year, hopefully. Whatnot. There's a lot going on. But I was just using it as an example. I got a lot of love for those guys over there. But Phil, you took yourself out of that. So what the hell are you bitching about it for? That's kind of retarded doing that shit. It's kind of stupid. It's really, really stupid doing that. And no one's going to win. Well, the opposition will. Like, Ninja doesn't care. Obviously he listened to that whole third out of the third thing, which it was true, so there was no reason why Ninja didn't. But you're a peon to Ninja anyway. You know what I'm saying? You're a peon anyway. You're a flea on his you're not even a flea, you're like a tick on his multicolored hair on the tip of one of them. It doesn't, you're irrelevant. And that's what hurts Phil the most. When Phil gives his opinions on things, right? He wants, and you can tell that I really picked this up during his little Twitter rants last year, 2018, is he wants people to gravitate to him. And wants to be like, oh, well, maybe he has a point. Or, yeah, Phil's right. And whenever he gets any type of opposition, he gets mad about it. Like, for example, in a situation, well, we'll say two situations that happened last year. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, it is what that was. That's just a travesty. And Dragon Ball FighterZ. Dragon Ball FighterZ, he bitches and complains about, oh, the net play is bad. They said it's bad, so on and so forth. All I can tell you is from my experience and the people that I watch, they didn't have problems. And if they did, they never spoke about it publicly, and they could have, but they didn't. And most of them were YouTubers. They weren't paid by Bandai Namco. Excuse me. In my own personal experience, excuse me yet again, I didn't have any problems with my net play, dude. I'm sorry, I didn't. You know what I mean? And even if I did, okay, a hiccup here or there. But then again, Phil has had a history of his internet not being so great. And you pay $250, $240, $260 for that dumb shit each month? I can't remember exactly what it was. I know I have it written down somewhere. Because I had talked to Memology about that earlier last year about that. Because he actually had an insider on it. So that was good shit. Shouts out to Memology 101. So, internet problems are just something that Phil has had. But either which way, let me not tear him down so much. So, it is what it is. Other people came out and said they had problems with it. Fair enough. I'm not taking that from nobody. But Phil thought that automatically. He thought it automatically encases him. I'm gonna say encases. I really should say blankets him in the in a coat, if you will, of legitimacy, and that's what Phil wants more than anything now. He needs it. He needs legitimacy, and he wants it, and he doesn't know how to get it. He doesn't know how to capitalize off something like that because his delivery is poor. You know what I'm saying? And it's one of the things that hurts him more, yet again, more than anything. Well, it's one of the things that hurts him quite a bit. And I don't know if he can ever really recover from it because the guy's an idiot. He's an idiot. He has no public relation ability at all. So he doesn't know how to handle himself in those situations. His first thing is, oh, you disagree with me? You're an idiot. You're stupid. And then in the next statement, he tries to continue to lay out his argument, but it doesn't matter because you already discounted this person as a stupid and as an idiot. But what you don't see, Phil, here's the real meta. When you say that about that one person who had that thought on your situation, just imagine the people who were agreeing with that, who thought about what he was thinking and came to that, or he or she, and came to their conclusion. So now from that one person, you've discounted all these other people who may have agreed with them too. Then what? I don't know. You see what I'm saying? You cut your avenues off like that. That's not engaging into a conversation. That's you wanting to be the end all be all. And in truth, all it is it's just the end. It's the beginning and the end of you. And so this legitimacy that you're trying to chase doesn't mean shit amongst the 200 or 300 people, maybe 400 people who watch you. Because when they try to go off the Twitter to defend you, they get shot down and drop like flies. I don't know. Maybe if their sensei was strong enough, maybe if he was smart enough, maybe if he had a bit more knowledge and wisdom, he might be able to handle the situation. If you have a weak sensei, you have weak students. You have weak pupils, which will only go on to be weak individuals themselves. And it's basically the blind leading the blind. Just my opinion, though. I'm a pup in a sharp suit with a nice badge that says DIA, Special Agent. Just saying. Dspnews.
Fucking insult. But this dickhead had to fucking say this. And it really is messed up. It's insulting to everyone to say that. It is. It's incredibly insulting and irresponsible for this guy to say that. I mean, who the hell are you to be that judgmental to every gamer on the fucking planet?
They're just not. Video games are much more than that. They're a cultural dynamo. They are more profitable than television, music, movies, cinema, or any kind of cinema like stage, stage and screen combined. They can become amazing artistic experiences that are very much mature and for adults, as much as dancing around like a little kid in Fortnite is for kids. Okay?
Insult the viewer. So I'm okay with it. I don't mind the Fortnite, craze. I'm good at lying.
But at the same time, and I'll be very honest here, everyone. Earlier this year, I took a lot of criticism because when Ninja played with Drake on Fortnite and his stream got a record high number of views on Twitch, people came out and were like, "We made it, yo. Games are mainstream, yo. Yo, we made it, yo. This is it." And I came out and said, how the fuck does that mean anything for anyone who's been into video games before the Fortnite craze? Like, what you're telling me is Fortnite is now mainstream popular. That doesn't mean that that's going to benefit any of us at all. But people were acting like this is it. We've reached the pinnacle of what gaming can be because Drake is playing with fucking Ninja on a Twitch stream that got record views. I'm like, what is stupidity? Here comes an insult, here comes an insult, here comes an insult, here comes an insult. Like, what the fuck? It was out of control.
Oniony, salty aftertaste in my mouth.
Like, this is just such stupidity.
Alright, yet again, Phil kind of, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure who Phil was watching or whatnot. But let's talk about this for a minute, since he wants to kick facts. I don't know what the whole point of that whole yo thing is. I could take that a certain type of way, but I'm not going to. And whatnot. Let's talk a little bit about the hip-hop community, the rap community, and video games. Madden, Call of Duty, Mario, Sonic. I'm naming off games that people from Biggie and Pac to Big L all the way down to the Migos and shit play. And they talk about that shit all the time. Half of them dudes have rapped about, well, maybe not Big and Pac, even though someone tried to tell me that Biggie made a Dragon Ball reference, but I've heard the song a dozen times and I haven't heard it. But you find those same references in their music a lot. People have thrown out a Street Fighter reference, a Mario reference, you know what I'm saying, a Sonic reference. You can find it. I'm sure there's a YouTube channel out there, or there's a Twitter account that combs over that shit and can prove it. Lupe Fiasco does it a lot. He has a mixtape that's called the Super Lupe Brothers, I think it is. I have that mixtape. It's just godlike too, by the way. Shouts out to Lupe. Shouts out to Lupe Fiasco. I ain't listening to Lupe in a minute. I should throw him on. And that I won't get hit for that, so that'll work. So there you go. So video games and mainstream music has been around for a hot ass minute and whatnot, and not just in hip hop or rap, but you find that shit you can find it in country, you can find it a little bit in R&B, you can find it in rock. So that's not the case. If anything, that helped the Fortnite community essentially get their up and comings. That it helped legitimize them. I don't think it helped legitimize gaming in general. Drake has talked about playing games all the time. Wayne is a video game head. Wayne has been a video game head for the longest. And he's rapped about it plenty of times. So that doesn't change anything at all. Or it certainly is harder for it to make your point, Phil. It's harder for you to kind of cement your point, I should say, off that alone. And for someone who doesn't watch other people, whether streaming or YouTube, allegedly, how would you know anyway? It sounds to me like you just caught on to the buzz that was on Twitter and you ran off that and didn't do anything else. I mean, you are a gamer, yeah? Shouldn't you be? And you do talk about gaming news occasionally, right? You ain't learned anything from Rich yet? You can't go to a gaming website and check out what the news is? There's a bunch of them. Don't you go to GameStop still? Don't they have like Game Informer magazine? It wasn't that great before, but it's gotten better. It's gotten better. So, it's somewhat informative. I don't know. I'm just saying. He just sounds like some bitter old man. Dspnews.
And I criticized it, and people gave me shit that I'm out of touch, and I'm an asshole, and I don't know what I'm talking about. And now here we are at the end of 2018, and everyone makes fun of kids playing Fortnite. So funny how everyone has flipped completely on their own early opinion. When in reality,
No. People think that the dancing and everything is silly. Seeing Ninja do that shit is fucking hilarious. And kind of sad, too, by the way. But this shit brings in millions of fucking dollars. Ninja, as well as other streamers, as Snort Burnell has on screen, are making thousands and thousands of dollars. Well, in truth, they're making like tens of thousands of dollars a month doing that shit. They're killing it. Some are making more than that. So, Phil, if you were somehow making that type of money, I guarantee you'd be defending Fortnite tooth and nail. But since you're not in, as we spoke about before, you excluded yourself from that situation. You want to sit there and bitch about it, which is just pathetic. It's kind of sad, to be honest with you. It's kind of dumb. You know what I mean? Like, and it's obvious that it bothers you. You know what I'm saying? So you keep talking about it, but you don't want to play Fortnite because it's too difficult for you. I know it is. I know it's too difficult for you. Because there's certain aspects that go into it that you have to take into account. And you definitely don't like the building aspect. But then again, this is coming from someone, ladies and gentlemen, who's never built a damn thing in his life. I don't even know if he's ever picked up a hammer unless daddy or mommy were there. You know what I mean? You ain't never put in no work. So, of course, it's going to come across as egregious to you or mediocre. At the end of the day, this goes back to Phil wanting a level of credibility and legitimacy. But then this also goes back, ladies and gentlemen, on you having to protect your name. You have to protect your brand. Phil didn't do that. He sold all of that out when he had it. Didn't even sell it to the highest bidder. He just sold it out. And now he has nothing. And now he want to get mad because people don't take his word into accountability. It doesn't have any weight to it. It's soft. Like, I grab a sheet of fabric softener and I slice it across his arm and he bleeds soft. That's a battle reference, by the way. Someone's gonna get that reference too. I want someone to get that reference. I know somebody knows. Somebody knows. It was from like a really, really popular battle too, back in the day. And whatnot. So I'll wait in the comment section to see if anybody catches that reference. but that's what that reference was. I'll repeat it again. It's you're so soft. I'll grab a sheet of fabric softener and go ahead and basically slash it across your arm, and you'll probably bleed. That's a battle reference. Someone will get it. I know someone will get it because there are people here who watch battle rap. Anyway, so that's what Phil yet again is continuing to chase. For what? For what? Even amongst your own little fan base, it's obviously not enough for you. So you want a much larger demographic to take you seriously. But why though? Because you've been around for a long time? So the fuck what? Fred's been around for a long time, and I doubt that I'm going to go to Fred about anything in particular. Maybe I will. I don't know. So what's the point? You're fighting a losing battle. You're fighting a battle that doesn't even need to be fought. You've already lost. You stepped in the ring and you tripped and you fell. You already lost the fight. I can't take you seriously. I'm just going to be like, all right, I'm going to collect my check. I'm going home. If the guy doesn't have enough coordination to come through the ropes, he's damn sure not going to go 12 rounds with me. Well, not to say Phil would go 12 rounds. I'd probably beat Phil in 4. I'd beat him in 2. I'd beat him in 2. If I'm feeling lazy, I can drag him out to 4 rounds. Do you even see Phil going a 3-round fight with anybody? No, but either which way, even Seidel would probably put up a better fight than that. Any case, you're chasing something that just doesn't exist anymore, Phil. Any legitimacy, anything that you may have had that may have given you some real weight doesn't mean shit anymore. And you've alienated the people and their fan bases that could have possibly given it to you. You've gone after other YouTubers. You've gone after other Twitch streamers. They have audiences that are on the platforms that you want to project your comments, your thoughts, your opinions. But they all hate you. Well, not hate you, but they all certainly dislike you, or they just ignore you. And that must hurt more than anything. Imagine, ladies and gentlemen, existing and nobody willing to acknowledge your existence. Even if you do make a decent point. Dspnews.
What was happening was that a game like Fortnite was getting all the attention, and all that was going to do, having Drake play Fortnite, was going to attract kids. I don't really give a shit about Fortnite being dominant on Twitch, Conan the Barbarian, because the people who watch that aren't my audience. My audience is not a bunch of kids and young teenagers, being quite frank, even though I know I have some of those in my audience. That's not my main viewer base. You know, Fortnite has its viewer base, and that's fine, but it's, you know, I don't care. It really doesn't affect me at all that Fortnite is popular or whatever, you know what I mean?
I acted up to try to bring in little kids to watch my shit so I can be rich. Okay? Hello, my children. I'm just tired of it. I can't babysit fucking kids, you know? My content is not catered towards kids. It never has been, and it never will be. How many millions of impressionable kids are watching this garbage content on YouTube? And how much money does this idiot make making this garbage content? Sorry, I'm trying to be responsible here. I really feel this actually could hurt children.
He was the guy that got caught masturbating in front of children.
It's the guy watching his Twitch.
Is that really him? Is he the one that got caught, Matt?
Yes!
Really?
That's right, I'm a huge pervert, guys. That's all I do. I just masturbate constantly in front of children.
But
on
I've seen so
purpose.
much.
I got completely exposed. Which is exactly what fucking happened.
Children started playing the game, and now it's virally popular with young kids. And in reality, the game is very profitable for adults who play it because kids watch adults play it, but it's not a game that is going to be taken super seriously because of what's happened culturally with it. Okay? So
shut your mouth. Anything that makes money is taken seriously. This is one of those things I've been waiting to call out for a while, ladies and gentlemen. Anything that can generate revenue to an extent is taken seriously. So let's talk about games, for example. Because you can make the same argument with Phil. Most of you guys could be like, hey, GTG, Phil generates revenue, so he's taken seriously, isn't he? by Twitch to an extent. They haven't gotten rid of them fully. So, yeah, there you go. In a lot of ways. But let's talk about Fortnite for a second. Phil, the game makes millions and millions of dollars, dude. It makes a ridiculous amount of money. A ridiculous amount of money every day. Every day, people throw tens of thousands of dollars, if not more, to it onto that game. So, of course, people are going to take it seriously. They're constantly updating well, not constantly, but they are regularly updating the game. So, obviously, they feel a need to go ahead and put effort to it because it's making money. So, you can sit there and say whatever the fuck you want, Phil. How is it that you have people on Twitch who only stream Fortnite and they're making tens of thousands of dollars? Making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, and that's the only game they play. I'm just saying. So you can talk all the shit you want, Phil, but it's making money. And people are benefiting from it making money. Whether it's coming from the elderly, whether it's coming from infants, whether it's coming from kids of whatever ages, money's being generated. And if it's being generated, it needs to be taken seriously.
You know, for me, I don't mind these games existing. I just don't. You know, it's okay. It's fine. You wanna get crazy attention on these kind of games? Fine. But understand, these games don't really mean anything for gaming as a whole. It's a flash in the pan success. You know, people who play Fortnite like crazy are not necessarily now going to jump into some amazing other games and become lifetime gamers. It's just like Minecraft. You know, those people...
Well, first off, you're an idiot. And the reason why I call you a fucking idiot is because you're under the assumption that people who stream games on Twitch don't play games offline. They're not like you. They don't only play games just to profit. And ladies and gentlemen, make no mistake, that's what Phil does. The only games that he doesn't profit from is mobile games, and it's because he doesn't know how to capture them. If he could, that little wrestling mobile game he plays, and there's like another one. I don't know. I don't care that much. But but that one wrestling game, if he could capture it on his mobile, on his I think he has like an iPhone. If he could capture it, which I'm sure he can, but if he could, he would play it, and he would play it for profit. So let's be honest. Real gamers, Phil, don't only play just online for money. That's the difference. And that's why, Phil, you're not a real gamer. You play for profit. You might as well be a corporate whore. You might as well. Because that's the only time you really play games anyway. What games do you play offline? You don't play games offline anymore unless you were grinding, and you haven't done that since you got called out for that fiasco 3 or 4 years ago. So who's the real gamer around here? Yes, it's a flash in the pan. Yes, it's a fad. So is Call of Duty. Well, Call of Duty is doing a good job killing itself off. But eventually it's going to die out. At least Call of Duty will. The first-person shooter genre won't, but Call of Duty will. Eventually, maybe Street Fighter. Well, I don't know about Street Fighter if it'll get overtaken because it's been around for a long time. But not because. But then again, I would also tell you, just because something's been around for a long time doesn't mean it can't be toppled. Dark Side Phil being a perfect example of that. Everything has its moment. I'll just say that. Everything has its moment, and then it fades. Some of them actually disappear. Some of them just kind of linger around. Of course, it's a flash in the pan, but while it's here, there's no reason why someone like you, Phil, who does it for a living anyway, you're already a hoe, you're already a thought, there's no reason why you shouldn't profit from it. And you're a fucking idiot for not doing it. Same thing with World of Warcraft. Same thing with Minecraft. Same thing with Minecraft. Same thing with a lot of games that were hot and heavy at one time, and you could have jumped on, you could have made yourself quite a bit of money while still doing other stuff, but you wouldn't do it because you thought you had so much damn pride. And then people made channels out of those games, made millions of dollars from those games, and all you could do is sit on your half-broken fucking soapbox and bitch and complain about how those aren't real games, those people aren't real gamers, they only play the game for money, they only play the game because it's popular. So do you. So do you. Dspnews?
Living fuck out of Minecraft didn't necessarily then start playing every other good game because they're so different. You see what I mean? They were part of this cultural phenomenon, this viral thing, and once the viral popularity dies, so does the interest. And That's what the point I was trying to make earlier this year. Drake playing fucking Fortnite, it didn't mean a damned thing for anyone. But people are so dumb and ignorant.
I'm not trying to insult you. I'm trying to actually explain to you how stupid you are so that you'll realize it.
They just want to buy into fads and hype. Oh, the hype for the hype, the hype. You're an idiot. Stop buying into this stupid crap. You know, what did that do for anyone, any of us as gamers? Nothing. All it did was make a bunch of kids play the game and dance. So, congrats on your massive success. You finally made it, yo.
Why am I toxic? More toxic, more toxic. Toxify it. That's the definition of toxic. Someone who wants to turn something into poison, into something that slowly degrades or degenerates you, that makes you feel bad over time because you don't. Basically, it's a negativity that makes you not want to be around anymore, right? I took anger management classes. It wasn't actually a joke. That's why I haven't been negative. And then your people, Phil's a toxic streamer. No, you actually try to make me look like that.
Oh, whoa. Life's for Soul just hit me $10.
Thanks for the money, stupid fuck. You are my bitch. Thank you for the free money, dummy. And you can lick my balls.
Because I believe anyone good at Fortnite wouldn't be able to beat the first boss of any Dark Souls game, let alone beat one. I hate to tell you this. Most people who play Fortnite and only Fortnite probably can't play Super Mario Brothers.
I myself am a former pro fighting game player. Any moment, I can pick up a controller and I can play any game at professional level.
Because, like I said, they only started playing because of viral popularity. They didn't play games because, oh, this game is good, or, you know, they started playing it because it was popular. You know, and this is what happens with everything. Look at the people who became popular on YouTube and Twitch. They're virally popular for the sake of being virally popular, not because the quality of what they put out is so much better than everything else. They found a little niche, they found a way to get mainstream appeal, and just retained it forever. You know, and it's the same thing with a game like Fortnite. It got lucky. It ended up being a successful formula, Battle Royale, that everyone else was doing, so copied everybody else, but did it in a cartoony formula, and by the way, was free on every console. So of course the kiddies are going to play it, and then they very, very wisely promoted their games.
Wait, so then isn't it fair to say that the reason why the game was popular because of its accessibility, and not because it was overhyped? Alright, let's let the pig continue.
Things like, well, let's get Drake to play it, right? Wow, was that a absolutely ingenious...
What do you mean let's get Drake to play it? Drake was already playing it. He just got into a stream with Ninja and Travis Scott. Travis Scott was playing it too. This is before they actually approached Ninja for it. Now, whether that was set up or not, I couldn't tell you. Because at the end of the day, that didn't help Travis Scott or Drake. It helped Ninja more than anything. And if that was the case, then someone had to have paid a large amount of money to make that happen. But in any case. But then again, you got NBA players, you got NFL players, you got all kinds of athletes who play the game too. And you don't ever hear about any of them unless you follow them on Twitter or Instagram. So, what point are you... How is it that you know all this shit, and yet, like I said, you don't do nothing? So how do you come to these conclusions? Yeah, let's let the pig continue.
Strategy, you know, genius. I'm not gonna talk shit about that. It made perfect sense. But again, for what it was a marketing ploy to play their game. It wasn't, oh, you know, this is some kind of a significant occurrence for gamers.
I mean, I'll be honest, just like any other normal human, yes, am I jealous of certain people and of people who are successful?
Ladies and gentlemen, this right here is basically this is futile, to be honest with you. He's trying so hard to make himself seem like a legitimate gamer. He's trying so hard to make himself seem like a legitimate gamer. And to try to tear down Ninja and anybody else who plays it, that he's really just alienating himself to a fan base that's bigger than his own. He's sitting here trying to make the argument that Fortnite isn't an actual game worthy of being played by gamers. Yet, they have a large following of people who play it who are gamers. You see what I'm saying? Like, you see how he's kind of fucking himself over? Just because you play a bunch of different games and you don't play this one game doesn't make you any less or any more of a gamer. Just play the fucking game. Play what you enjoy playing. But Phil's trying so hard to tear this game down and make it seem illegitimate that it would only make people be like, well, who the fuck is Darkside Phil? Who are you? Oh, he's been around for 10 years, man. He's a variety streamer. He's a variety gamer. So what? He's making himself... He's opening up the doors for people to make the argument on how irrelevant he is. Jesus Christ, Phil. So sad. So sad.
Whatever. Of course I am. Of course I'm going to have jealousy. That's a natural human emotion for those who have more than you. You're always going to have that natural kind of jealousy of those who maybe have been more successful or things like that.
Yeah, third out third. I appreciate the dono, man, and letting me know.
Alakazam the Best says they're going to tip me $2,000. The bottom line is, ladies and gentlemen, and you'll learn this, especially if you attend my streams, people who want to be supportive just will be. They won't announce that they're going to do something because they're just looking for attention. People like that, basically he wants to make me think he's going to contribute and then he won't. You know? He got fucked up.
LSP, get a job.
Yeah, there you go.
If you know that he's not going to donate you the money, then why even bring it up? Why even address it? Why even advertise it? Why give it light? When all you're going to do is make yourself... You're just going to basically make yourself a victim. I mean, yet again. It's the silliness that is Pig Roach. For some reason, he thinks he's being smart by doing that. And he thinks he's being proactive. That's the word I'm looking for. He thinks he's being proactive by announcing stuff like that. All you're doing is giving people ideas and ways of fucking with you. That's all it is. And then if you got the money, he would suck that guy off. And then that's going to make him look further egregious. So yet again, what's the point? Oh well. Pig Roach logic, I guess.
What we won, good shit.
Darkside a stupid, cowardly, ugly, jobless, narcissistic, egotistical man-child who begs for people's money just by sitting on his fat ass, sucking at video games 24/7 and will never adapt to a professional level in gaming. Do not donate to this loser. He only using your money just to buy fast food, making his fans
I like fast food.
Own bills and keeps Moses unearned.
Okay, now back to the game. I use my money to buy fast food. That's interesting. As you know, fast food is very expensive these days.
KP said Darkside Phil is an ugly goon.
Oh shit. Hello.
Tevin, hello.
Collapse detected. Advise relocation to indicated safe zone.
That sounded like a complete idiot. I'm just saying, what a moron.
He sucks at games.
Alright, you sacrificed your own life to say that. What a genius. I don't understand it. What was the point of that? Seriously, what was the point of that? It's Tevin's fault. What pasta do you prefer? I prefer a penne. Oh! Easy to eat. Oh! Phil's a faggot. Phil's fat. Phil's a loser. Phil's a beggar. Phil's a racist. Phil's a scammer. DSP's a pedophile. DSP is a thief. DSP is a greedy fuck.
This guy's a bitch.
I have a micro penis.
We're getting closer. We're getting closer to that, to right before the point of impact of that pillow. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So, what do we take away from this? For me, it's Phil's fight for relevancy. It's a sad fight. It's a fight that he's going to lose. He can't win. Bless his little piggy heart for trying, but he's going about it all wrong, and as he always has, and as he always will. So, at the end of the day, he hurts nobody but himself. So just sit back, enjoy the show, and that's kind of the end of that. And as for Dark Souls, I mean, basically he wants them to play the game for him. It's not even hand-holding anymore. Play the game for me, guys, so I can collect the money on YouTube and on Twitch. That's basically it. So, there you go on that. Ladies and gentlemen, this is DSP News, always late, never breaking. Unreliable coverage that you can't count on. Oh yes, a GTG Network Productions. I am your host, /anchor GTG, and I am signing off. Have a good day, guys. In the broadcast. Womp womp.